I don't know. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, a theme recently for us has been focusing on open houses. Israel did an amazing workshop right here in the training room on Saturday. Verna's got a huge one following that up with the part 2 on Sunday. That's going to be actually at the scene, however you want to call it, right? On the ground at an actual, open at an actual listing. And so sandwiched between today, I wanted to focus a little bit more on open houses as well, because if y'all haven't realized, open houses are absolutely back. How many of you have seen listings now where days on market are starting to increase? They absolutely have. And the interesting thing now is that we're actually seeing increased open house activities. The percentage of that is actually increased over just showings. So open house conversions are really important now. And that's why we want to make sure that you guys are equipped with the best possible information on how to actually do these open houses or how to be successful in these open houses. So I actually invited a guest to join me today. It's been a minute since we've done that. Okay. So I have a guest here today who is near and dearest to a lot of us. She's absolutely near and dear to me, even though we sometimes pretend like we don't like her. So I'm going to go ahead and let's call her up here. And that's the one and only Joyce Castillo. No theme music. I don't need walk-up music, anything, right? I think the camera's wide enough. Let's stay right here. Ladies and gentlemen, absolute best dressed in Houston, voted best dressed realtor in Houston, right here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Come on up. Awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's the city life?
I love it.
No, you don't.
I still love Sugarland, but I love the city life so much.
That's awesome. That's awesome. For those of you that don't know, Joyce Castillo is one of our absolute top producers at our sister Houston Central office. All right. She started right here at the Southwest office and then now focuses kind of in that area. So that's where she is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Tell us a little bit about who's Joyce Castillo.
Okay, guys. So I started my real estate journey about 6.5 years ago. This was my home.
It is your home?
It is still my home, actually. When I first started, it was an amazing journey. I still love everyone. I still know everyone here. Most of everyone. We get along all the time. So it's pretty good. But here's where everything started. Here's where my foundation started with open houses. And when Nimesh invited me over to speak about it, I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? It's like, I don't actually need to prepare. It's already here. I already know everything. So he's like, yeah, pretty simple. So obviously, I'm happy to be here. I think I probably sold over 278 properties year to date. So it's pretty good for me. I really enjoy it. I still love what I do. I started off as a solo agent. Now I do have a team. My sister has joined me and I have an administrative assistant. So my team has definitely grown. I do know that we went to the mega camp event, right? Mm-hmm. And in that event, Gary Keller himself said open houses are the one thing that's coming back and it's coming back strong. And so when I started 6.5 years ago, open houses was my main thing. That's the only thing that I did to grow my business. Did you want me to just go in?
No, because we have like all this agenda and you're like flying through it.
Okay,
and
go ahead.
Hey, enjoy lunch, guys. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, let's start out with the simple thing, what we have up here. Talk about a little bit what it felt like to be best dressed agent in Houston. That was an official she got. Like, it was awesome, but it was voted on and
that was amazing. I did not know that I was like actually going for this. I found out 48 hours before the cutoff time was done. So I was really happy to win because it was a lot of amazing realtors that were on there. I just got a trophy last week, so that felt pretty good.
It's official.
So now I feel like I have to dress up every day. Like there's no day I can slack. I feel like, okay, I have to dress up every day. Like even if like something's done, like I have to like show up, But I do enjoy it for the most part. Being a realtor, one of my favorite things to do is to dress up. I like to be dressed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's actually quite important most of the time because what you're known for now more than anything is your activity on social media, right?
Right. Yeah, I am. So I think I have about 15, almost 15,000 followers.
Right. And I think I've had you up here before talking about social media.
Yes.
Yet today we're going to talk about open houses. And the reason why I have you, even though now that you're known for social media, is that when you first began, this was a huge successful point for you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I'd love to hear a little bit about the numbers because you know your numbers on this, don't you?
Yeah, I do know my numbers.
All right, so tell me a little bit about your open house numbers.
So my numbers are basically, when I first started, obviously my PC coach, she's like, we're going to do one thing and you're going to focus on that one thing. And then we're going to figure out if it's your thing to do. If not, we're going to focus on something else. Because I'm sitting here wondering, like, what do I do? Do I do cold calling? Do I call my sphere? Do I do open houses? When do I do them? Like, how do I generate business? Like, I have family, I have friends. I'm like native to Houston, but I didn't know how to get the business. So she said that with me, just had a one-on-one conversation. And she said, let's just do open houses. And I'm like, all right, cool. She's like, what are you doing on the weekends? I'm like, nothing. I just got unemployed like 3 months ago. I don't have anything to do. She's like, okay. So I would just grab my little baby. At that time, she was like 7 years old. And we did 4 open houses every weekend.
Okay.
So every Saturday I did 2, every Sunday I did 2, and it'll be like from 12 to 2, and then like from 4 to 6, if I can remember correctly, somewhere around there. And they were close in proximity so that I can drive around and switch my open house signs. So I would do that.
Okay.
And then when I started doing them, I actually sold my first open house. So my first open house was a cash deal. I sold it within like 2 weeks, which was great. And I saw that check and I was like, okay, now I need to do it again. I need to do it all the time. So I did 4 open houses every weekend. Out of every 4 house that I would host, I would sell 3. So not necessarily I would sell that particular house, but I would sell a house in that neighborhood. So 3 out of every 4. I thought that was pretty impressive.
That's all right.
Nah, it's great. Yeah. It's great.
That's pretty awesome. That is unreal. Okay. Yeah. And that's why we have you up here. So I appreciate that. 3 out of every 4 she would sell. That's pretty awesome. Okay. So at the beginning, what made you feel like what, that open houses would work? Like you could be successful in this as you're doing this?
To be honest with everyone, I really didn't know if it would be my one thing. I didn't know. I went in there blindsided. I'm like, okay. They were like, reach out to all the agents and have them tell them that you're free, that you're available, that you could run their coffee, that you're doing open house for them. Just talk to them, get out there. And I was kind of shy at first when I first started. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go there. Like, I don't know if I want to ask. So then I did. And then my first open house, he was like, are you familiar with the area? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay. He's like, it's in Magnolia, Texas. I'm like, man, that's fine. I'm like down the street. That was 45 minutes from my house. So, and then I figured, my dad lives in Porter, Texas, so Magnolia should be close to Porter because it's almost a 45-minute drive. Boy, was I wrong. It was still like 45 minutes from my house, and then I dropped off my daughter with him, and then it took from his house to my first open house an additional 30 minutes. So it was really far. I got to my first open house. Obviously, my PC coach was like, do your homework, make sure that you're on YouTube, make sure that you're figuring out, reading your books, and trying to figure out what kind of questions you want to ask. I didn't do it. I'll be honest. I didn't do it. I was like, I'll be all right. I don't think it'll be so busy. My open house was so busy. It just didn't stop. People were just coming in. I probably had 20 families the first day. I was like, oh my God. And they all had questions. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll get back with you. I was still kind of figuring out what I'm doing. And then I'm like, oh my God. So then that same day I left and I stayed on YouTube till 3 a.m. Till 3 a.m, writing down all the questions from different people that I would feel comfortable asking. And I think I jotted down to 20 questions, 20 good questions to ask. And then I'm like, you know what, tomorrow I'm going in here and I'm prepared. I'm ready. I have my 20 questions. Out of this 20, 3 of these will go through and then somebody's going to buy this house. I was like, somebody's going to do it. And so that's what I did. That's how I prepared for it. I don't even remember your question. Sorry. Was that the question?
I'm just eye candy here.
So that was, I did the homework. That was my homework. So when I would say the one thing that I figured out, it was my one thing because I did my homework. I did it. The next day I showed up and everyone was literally walking in there like, oh, I'm going to tell my realtor, we're going to submit an offer. I'm going to tell my realtor, we're going to submit an offer. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally here. Somebody needs to come with me, right? And so one of the girls in particular, her name was Tiffany. That was my actual first sale. She walked in and she loved it, but she's like, I don't really like that it has a tub. I'd rather have a stand-up shower. I was like, oh, that's fine. Don't worry. I have construction workers. I can take care of that. I didn't. But obviously I said I did, right? I'll figure it out later if I didn't or if I didn't. So I'm like, we can figure that out. That's an easy fix. Other than that, is there anything else that you don't like? No, everything else is great. The drive to work, blah, blah, blah. Then she's like, I do have a realtor, but he hasn't really been doing his job. So, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't focus too much on the realtor not doing his job. I focused on her loving the house and her leaving. So when I was done with the open house, it was that one call. I just sat there and I was like, I know she really loves it. Should I just call her back and tell her that I have a lot of people coming in and submitting offers? And so I made that call and she was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, they're really interested. So I just wanted to check in with you. Do you want it? Because I can make the offer right now. She was like, yes, I do want it. And that day I stayed 3 hours writing up the offer. And that's how I sold that one house.
It's awesome. All right.
So
that's impressive.
So I didn't know that was my one thing until I started doing it. And once I sold that one house, I was like, I just want to do this. I want to do this all the time. Every weekend, I want to do it.
So did you feel like after that first one, hey, this is the thing, I know I can be successful in this open house thing? Or how many did you do or how many did you convert before you realized, no, this is my thing?
No, that was my first open house. And that was the one time when I converted her into buying it. I was like, this is my one thing. I'm good at this. Mm-hmm. I'm not out there, asking you like, hey, you want to buy a house? Hey, where you at? Hey, this and that. It's like they're walking into me, like they're walking into my open house. And the more that I did it, the better that I got. And then, I'll just pick up anything, like anything that will walk in, like, you want to buy, you want to sell? I mean, I just was very adamant about it.
Let me put you on the spot a little bit. Okay. You said I'm good at this. What makes Joyce Castillo good at this?
It makes me good because I would say when you walk in, you're greeted by me, obviously, right?
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
So I feel like, I feel like I'm really good simply because of the questions that I ask. I feel like I'm prepared when I'm doing an open house. I'm not just showing up unprepared. I'm very much prepared. I know the area. I know what's selling. I know what's pending. I know what's active. I know what's sold. I know the school district. I know the tax rate. I know everything that you need to know for you to move into this house. And if you don't want this house, then where in this area do you want to live in? And if you don't want this house, why don't you like it? What could make this house perfect? Right. So I think I pretty much got it down.
Pretty
right?
much.
Pretty much. And if you don't want this house, like where do you stay now? Are you living? You live in an apartment? Or are you, selling and buying, or what are we doing? So I will pick up my listings from theirs too.
Okay.
So my listings came from my open houses as well.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a chain reaction then. You go to an open house, you convert them, you get a listing, which then will bring you more, brings you more open houses and brings you more clients.
So I would say like open houses was my one thing. It still is my one thing. I know if I do any open houses now, I know I'll sell the house.
Okay. All right. Let's start. Let's hear the Joyce way. Let's start the process, right? Process for setting up for success. So walk me through like how you like your process to leading up to the open house. Okay. Start at the beginning of the week or whatever day you typically start zoning in, and then what's your process? What do you do?
Okay. So the first thing I do is obviously I have a good relationship with the realtors that are listing agents. It's the number one. That's the first thing, right? If I know Nimesh is a listing king, right?
Wait, why do we have to use quotes? Okay, yeah.
If I know Nimesh is a listing queen, or if I know Joyce Castillo is a listing queen, then I'm reaching out every Monday.
Call me queen.
Hey, I'm like, hey, Nimesh, what's up? This is Joyce over at Keller Williams Houston Central. Just want to see what you got up this week. Any new houses that I can host for you? And he's going to say, yes, no, actually, no, not this week, but maybe next week. Oh, cool. Where area is that house coming in? Oh, it's coming in Sugar Land, or it's coming in Richmond. All right, perfect. Awesome. Hey, do you mind if I give you a call back next week and I ask you again about it? Because I really want to host that open house for you. I'll do this, I'll kind of give you the rundown of what I do. Hey, I'll make sure that, your open house is done correctly. I make sure that I give you feedback, and I'll make sure that, if it gets sold, that, we work together or whatnot. So then I'll call him back. But if he says, yes, I actually do have a new listing, it's coming up Wednesday or whatnot. Okay, perfect. Can I go ahead and get the address? I want to start getting prepared. And he's going to say, yeah, absolutely. What do you need? I just need the address. That's all I need. And I'll do my due diligence. Right. So once he gives me the address, that's all I need. What I'll do is go ahead and pull up the numbers for the people that live in the area. And I'm going to start cold calling them. Okay. Just say, hey, how are you? This is Joyce with Keller Williams Houston Central. Just calling you because 1234 on Destiny Street is coming up on the market. It's still not up, but it will be up by this Friday. And I just want to go ahead and cordially invite you and your family and friends over to the open house. It's going to be hosted from 12 to 2, and we will have a couple of snacks and information. So we just want to invite you. So you're not asking them really for business. You're just inviting them.
Invitation.
Yep. Just the invitation, right? I will try to sit down and make 25 to 30 calls twice a week for 2 days, maybe invite like 12. I want to have at least contact with 50 neighbors in the area. Okay. Just so that they can get invited, right? I want to get them on the phone. Once I'm done with that, now that I have my team, obviously I'll have my admin door knock the area. Okay. And if she's able to talk to someone, hey, here's an invitation for the open house. Here's my information. Obviously we're just inviting people. If the neighbors are not available, we just stick it on their door just so that they know it's available. So what day is that typically? Like, let's say you were doing it on Saturday or like if the open house is done on a Saturday, it's a whole thing. So I have to start getting prepared on Monday. So we're doing calls Monday and Tuesday. Okay. And then by Wednesday, we're door knocking and we're putting our signs up on the neighborhood. We're putting the signs on the doors. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. As you're door knocking. Yes. And then that same day we're door knocking and we're doing all of that. We're posting an open house sign right in front of the house. And it says open house Saturday from 2 to 4, from 12 to 2. And it's on there. It's all the information's on there, just open house here, here's the date or whatnot. Okay. So that will be the next step. And then after that, we create our brochures and everything that needs to be done for the open house. If we need to have a binder, letting them know what the school district, the tax rate, amenities available, hospitals in the area, you'll have your binder. Usually listing agents that are really good, I would say me, if you go any of my listings, my binder's there with all the information in regards to the house, but sometimes they don't have it. So if they don't have it, don't just assume that it's going to be there. Just prepare yourself and create your own. Create your own, have your own information on there. Make sure that every form, every document that you're doing is branded to you. You want them to see your picture. You want them to see your name. You want them to see your logo, because the more they see you, the more they're like, oh, she works this area a lot. Because I don't necessarily have to be the listing agent, but if I'm doing the open houses, they're probably not going to call me Mesh. They're going to probably call me and be like, hey, I seen you, hosted open houses. They don't know. They don't know the difference between a listing and you're just being an open house. They assume that you're the one selling the house. So I treat it as if it's my own listing anytime I get the open house, right? We put the sign. What else do we do? I'm trying to think. Obviously we do more calling. We get all the information ready to go. And then we, on Friday, right before the open house, we have 50 open house signs. 50 open house signs, and they're all branded to me and my team. And then we start putting them out the night before.
Okay.
So it goes all the way from each entrance, whatever way you can come into that neighborhood, you're going to see it. If you can come in from A, B, and C, then A, B, and C will have all my information branded, and it will bring you right to the open house.
Okay.
If there's a next door thing or a Facebook page for that particular neighborhood, you can also put your information on there. Like, hey, here's this information. We're doing that. And then on social media, I also post it.
Right.
I also post it on social media. I will either do a video or I will just post pictures of it. And I obviously ask for permission. Hey, I know you're listing. I'm going to post it. Is it okay if I do a video or not? If you're a listing agent, we love to see that. We, as listing agents, we want you to brand it. We want more exposure. We want everyone to see it. The more more eyes that we get on it, the more it sells faster, right? So we're always grateful for that.
Okay.
So I do all of that, and then we show up to the open house, and here comes all the people.
I
lock my door too, by the way. I know a lot of people say they leave the door open for open houses. My door is always locked. You cannot come into my open house if I don't greet you at the door. That's the main thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting to the day in just a second. But how about, so on social media, are you just posting it in like you personally, or like, are you putting it in certain other groups, like area groups or anything like that?
Yeah, you can do area groups, like the Facebook groups, like next door groups, like whatever other groups that you have that are selling, like you just post it on there, or like even your friends and families, you can send it over. Hey, I'm hosting an open house. We'd love to have you here. And then just send the information, just send it, you know? So I do all of that.
Yeah. And on the signs, of course, be mindful of the neighborhoods, right? Master plan communities, some of them have certain rules. A lot of people like putting them out on Friday evenings. Just be mindful of the rules though, okay?
Like on some of them I did, they did throw some of mine away. And then that's how I learned. And I was like, okay.
Well,
I'll just do it in the morning. Yeah, because if you can't do it at night, you can still do it in the morning. But just know that for you to have success in open houses is not just showing up and being there from 12 to 2 and just, waiting for someone to come. Like, no one's going to show up. I'm sorry?
And praying that nobody comes to the open house. Yeah,
like,
there's a funny video on that. Thank you, Akil. Absolutely. Right? Yes, do not take an open house so you can sit there and say, please don't come in. Please don't come in. Oh, I hope there's a car. I hope he doesn't come in. Yeah. Right? Like, all right, don't be one of those. All right, let's get to the day of the open house now. Now it's game time. So
now it's game time. You want to dress up, obviously. Be dressed up, dress to impress. You want to look good. You want to feel good. You want to smell good. All that stuff matters. I think all that stuff matters because when I'm working with someone, I want to work with someone who shows up as their best self. And I'm like, oh, he smells good, or she looks good, or whatever. So I show up to the open house. My door is locked. I have my binder with all the information for the open house, right? And then I have my signing sheet. I'm sorry.
Everybody got the authentic Joyce Castillo. Let me just say that. All right. This is totally authentic. Yes.
All right. The open house sheet is there.
Look at Chad's face.
I know, right? I just saw him earlier. I was like, oh, he's there. So the open house sign is there. On my open house signing sheet, I know that there's a new way that you guys do it electronic or whatnot, but I usually still do it old school, and I have my sheet, like signing sheet.
Because we haven't met about that yet.
Yeah, I know we haven't. And so on the open house sheet, the first person is always filled out. So I always take the time to fill it out. Like, it's just, because it's like a thing that says monkey see, monkey do. If they see somebody else already signed in with all their information, name, number, email, address, phone number, whatever, then you're going to do it. So, you're walking into the house and I'm going to greet you and I'm going to say, hey, how are you? This is welcome to my open house. And I'll shake your hand. I welcome you in. Hey, if you don't mind, please signing in real quick for me. This information is for the sellers. And then you're going to sign in. It's really nice, very simple. Now, if you say no, I'm just going to be like, I've never really had anyone say no, to be honest with you. They still fill it out. So you just, fill it out and then you're walking around and, I ask questions. You want me to go through that?
No, well, yes, we do. Just out of curiosity, though, just because we come from the same tree here, do you happen to use the Yana Hayes method of gift card raffle and monkey see wins every time?
No, I
Oh,
never really do it.
Okay.
I do that one for like events that are like at tables, and I have my setter like
Sure.
it is like you'll get the
Okay.
Amazon gift card, and then no one gets it. But yeah.
No, Monkey See gets it every time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Monkey See just happens to win. All right, go through your questions.
So you're walking in, you sign in, and I'm greeting you, I'm acknowledging you. If you're coming in with your family, I'm acknowledging your family too, right? Like, hi, how are you?
Come on,
like,
let's do it.
You come into my open house and then you sign in. Go ahead and sign. Okay, you're signing in. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and show you, hey, here's information with the binder with all the information in regards to the property, and then you're gonna browse through it. And then I'm gonna ask you, so what brings you into the neighborhood?
I have some friends and family that live here, so I was thinking about potentially buying a house here.
Awesome. So then my signs worked, huh? Or did they tell you?
Yeah, I did see them. No, yeah, I did see them. I was visiting and I saw the signs. I might as well stop by.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. We'll take a look at the house. Let me know if you have any questions. And then
Okay.
you're gonna walk. And I'm not like walking right behind you, but I am kind of walking behind you a little bit, and I'm listening to what you're saying. So I'm listening to the name of your kids, your wife, like, everything while you're walking.
Yeah.
And then, little Josh says something like, oh, I like this room. And I'm like, hey, Josh, you like it? So you can see yourself here. And then he's like, yeah, I like the room. Oh, that's amazing. So where do you guys live at right now?
I live in Siena.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome. So are you looking to move to this particular neighborhood?
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Okay, perfect.
like it.
How long have you been in Siena for?
16 years.
16 years. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, it's not that far from here.
Yeah.
Do you like the school district here as well?
Yeah, I do. I do.
You
That's
do.
one of
Yeah,
the
it is
reasons.
actually one of the highest ranked districts in the area as well.
Yeah, that's what I like
Awesome.
about
Awesome. So are you working with any realtor?
it. I am not.
You're not. Okay, awesome. That's great. How soon are you looking to move?
If I find the right house, I mean, it could be any time. Like I'm just kind of, if the right property comes along, then yeah, we'll see.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So right now, are you currently renting or are you lease? Are you currently renting or do you own?
No,
property?
I own my house in
You own your
Siena.
house. Awesome. So you're thinking about selling and moving here then?
Yeah, I might do. Yeah, probably.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great. I can definitely meet with you. I know you said that you're not in a rush to do that, but we can definitely put something on the schedule and kind of meet and talk about it. Would you like that?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
okay.
And then I'm going back to my calendar. I'm gonna, how does Tuesday at 11 a.m. sound for you?
Can I check my calendar and get back to
definitely.
you?
Oh, you're gonna get back with me? Does that not sound good? So then
Well, I just
usually
need to
I'm
see
like,
if I'm available.
I'm usually like, oh, Tuesday doesn't sound, I'm usually assuming that you have your calendar on your phone, right? So
Okay.
does Tuesday work for you at 11 a.m.?
Okay, that'll be okay.
Okay,
Sure.
because usually when they tell me no, I'm like, okay, what about Tuesday at 3 p.m.? And if they're like, oh no, that's just still not gonna work. Okay, well then I have Friday and I have Saturday at 11 a.m. Does either of those times work for you? Because I mean, when they're saying no, I'm still gonna give you more options. I'm not gonna let you just be like no. Like I'm still gonna be like, okay,
yeah.
well, how about this day? How about that day?
Sure.
So I'm usually able to put them on my calendar. Now, before you leave the house, so is there anything stopping you from submitting an offer on this particular house?
I just have to think about it. I need to check with, the numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, because I see your wife really likes it. And the babies love it as well too. So I just wanted to know, see if there's any more feedback you can give me so that I can give the seller. What do you think about the yard?
Oh, it's a very nice house. It's a good yard.
You think
good yard.
You think the yard is good? Okay, perfect, perfect. And so basically, that's just kind of like what we talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, is that?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
He's kind of hard client.
Yeah, it was.
Usually they're more chill. They're like, oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you greet all the open houses. How about your open house setup inside? Anything specific or just? You have your binder.
I have my binder. I usually have my signing sheet, and then usually I have like a candle, and then I have snacks like waters.
Okay.
Because it's really hot during the summer, but even when it's not the summer and it's during the cold, I still have like water, room temperature waters, and I have like snacks or whatnot. Hey, feel free to grab anything that you would like, whatever, Or the little kids are like crying and stuff. I'm like, yeah. Stop crying.
Okay. Stop crying.
Stop crying. Here you go.
What do you typically have let's say like now, do you typically have the TV on, like music playing in the background?
I usually have like music or something on my phone or my iPad, but I don't have none of that other stuff. No, because I can't hear them when they're talking. I don't want it.
You don't have to have the volume on. I mean.
No, I don't need to have the TV on.
Okay. All right. I like that. Okay. All right. Actually, I don't like that, but that's okay.
You sleep with the TV on?
No, I'm talking about if we walk in and there's football going on or something.
Because I hate people that just sleep with TVs on too.
All right. Let's talk about your conversion process, right? Do you feel like you convert these clients like right there in the open house, or is it part of is it more successful like because you follow up, like the follow-up program?
I think it's both. I think it'll depend on the client.
Okay.
Right. So usually if I have clients that walk in there and, I had one like 2 months ago, he's closing in his house next month. He walked in, he loved the house. He just saw the signs. He's just walked, his name's Jose. He walked in with his family and he's like, I really like it. And I'm like, oh, you really like it? I was like, is there anything you don't like about it? He's like, no, I think it fits all the criteria that I'm looking for. I would just want it to have one additional room. I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, actually, I have another listing down the street. It's like 4 minutes from here, same subdivision with 4 bedrooms and a way bigger backyard. Do you want to check that out? And he was like, oh, yeah, definitely. I was like, listen, I don't get out of here till 4 p.m., but if you can meet me there at 4:15 p.m., I'll be there and I'll open the door for you. And he's like, all right, perfect. So then I left that open house, went and showed him that house, and we put him on a contract with that house.
It's pretty cool.
So it's like kind of like feeding, like listen to what their needs are, right? If he doesn't have a rush on selling, but he's already a homeowner, I know he's not going to rush into it, rather than a person that's just walking in and they're like first time home buyers. He won't be a first time home buyer, so his rush will be less, right? His time frame will be less. Motivation. So that's why I'm like, his motivation will be different. So I'm like, okay, well then I can meet with you. He's already been through the home buying process, so it's gonna be like way easier for me, right? And so with him, it's like his motivation, he's ready to go. He just needs 4 bedrooms. Okay, here goes the house. Is there anything we can do? Anything we can change? Do you like this one? You know, and then he brought his parents out, he brought his daughters out, and you know, he's like, my mom lives with me and my kids live with me. And I'm like, okay, and I'm talking, making contact with the mom, making contact with the children, just making sure that everyone likes it. Okay, well, this, you know, and I'm going over everything. Well, they just put a new roof on in this house 2 years ago. So, you know, that saves you already about $20,000. You know, the AC, the HVAC, blah, blah, blah. It was my listing, so I knew everything about it. But even when it's not my listing and you say you're at my open house and you're like, I really like the house down the street. Oh, you do? Oh, well, we can take a look at it. If you can come back around at 4 p.m., 4:15, I'm done with this. I'll be wrapped up by 4:10. I can meet you there in 5 minutes. You know, I can go through it with you and I can give you all the information on the property. You can do that because one is not your listing, but on the listing, there's a seller's disclosure, right? And you can go through that and you can treat it as is your listing when you're showing it. Yeah. They don't know the difference. So if the listing does not have a seller's disclosure or the information I'm looking for, I'm gonna, as soon as they leave and they say they're coming back at 4:15, I'm coming on the realtor. Hey, Nimesh, you have a 123 Destiny on sale. I don't see the seller's disclosure. I don't see, HOA information, blah, blah, blah. Do you mind sending that over to me right now? I have a potential buyer who's looking to buy it in the next 15 minutes. He's gonna send it.
Shoot. Yeah, that would get me to send it.
Yeah, so he's gonna send it to me, right? Yeah. Rather than I'm like, oh, hey, I just noticed your listing. I have someone that wants to take a look at it. Do you want to send it to me? You're gonna be like, just contact my admin or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if I'm like, I have someone that's looking at it in 15 minutes, they really like it, and I think I can get it sold for you. Do you mind sending it over to me? I'm gonna send you my email real quick, and then you're gonna send it to me. So when I go to that house and I open it for them, I have all the information that I need for that house. Hey, you know, the roof is such and such. The people are still living in here, but you know, they'll be out, whatnot. So I'm trying to sell that house. So I guess it just goes based on motivation, sure, right? Sure. If you tell me you're leaving my open house and you're going to another open house, I'm not waiting till Monday to call you back. Sure. Because I think it's like Saturday and then I'm not going to, you're just going to see me at this open house and you have more open houses and then you may go more open houses Saturday and then more Sunday. By Monday, you're already under contract. I'm not waiting till Monday to call you. Okay. So let's talk about that. Okay. Follow up. What do you do? Follow up. If I feel like you're going to more open houses that same day, I'm going to call you that same day. As soon as I'm done with my open house. Hey, Nimesh, I know you said you were going to a couple of other houses, other open houses. How did that go for you? Okay. And then you're going to say, oh, it was good, or I didn't really find anything. Hey, listen, I heard a little bit of the things that you were interested in, and I think I may have a couple of listings that are hitting the market this week. But before they hit the market, I kind of wanted to jump on a quick call with you and kind of see what are your needs and wants in this particular house so that if it fits your criteria, I can send it to you immediately. Wow. Okay. Okay. And then you're going to be like, okay, perfect. Okay, listen, I think you said you want a 4-bedroom and you said 2.5 bathrooms, right? Okay, perfect. That more than likely sounds like a 2-story house. Do you want a 2-story or do you rather do a 1-story? And then you're going to say which one you want. Okay, perfect. I know we were in Aliana looking at property. Do you necessarily have to be in Aliana or do you just have to be zoned to those schools? Okay. You know, it kind of like, you kind of like have to ask them the kind of questions that will reel them in, and you want to sound like, even if you don't know the area, just act like you know it. Just act like you know the area. Like, okay, what school district is important to you? Okay, perfect. All right, great. So as soon as you just try to gather as much information as you can on that particular call that you get with them. And once you have everything ready, start sending them houses like immediately. Like, don't wait till Monday. Send them to them now. And then by Sunday, hey, Nimesh, good morning. I just wanted to make sure you got the list I sent you over last night. Oh yeah, I haven't had a chance to review it or whatnot. Okay, perfect. Listen, I'm going to walk into church right now, and I just want to make sure that I got all the information ready for you to go. I'm going to call you after church, and if you want to take a look at any of those, I'm available from 3 to 5 today. Nice. Okay. So then you'll be like, okay, perfect. And then if you don't call me and then I call you and you're like, no, I'm not interested in seeing it. Okay, is there anything that you did not like about the house that I sent you? Because maybe my search isn't correct. Sure. So I just want to make sure that I get you the right properties that you need. Because you said you needed to be out of your apartment in the next 60 days, right? Yeah. Yeah. So.
All right. What about now? It seems like you do a great job of attracting, and so people, they gravitate towards you and seem to stay in communication with you. But let's say it was somebody that wasn't necessarily right on it, and you had to kind of, do you have a long-term plan of like?
Yeah, I do have a long-term plan. So the long-term plan is I'm gonna call you every week.
Okay.
So I kind of follow up every week because I'm like, you went into an open house though, so there's motivation somewhere. If like you can't just be walking into open houses every weekend and then just not have like you don't want to buy something. Like you went into my open house.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't just like walk in there and you're just like, oh, I just wanted to see it. No, you don't. You kind of like the area.
No, you don't. I know what you want.
Like you either like the area, you want a new house, you're not happy where you're at, like something, like, so.
Love it. Gotta love her.
Something's there, right? So I kind of like try to dig into their motivation. If like the weekend I couldn't get you and I couldn't get you under contract, or we couldn't go out to show you properties, and you're like, because I feel like sometimes it's just the husband that goes in there or just the wife, and then they just need to gather information. So I'm like, oh, okay. Are you the main one? Are you the only person that's making the decision, or is it somebody else? And if there's somebody else, then you always want to make sure that you meet with both of them. I think that would be the key thing. It's like, hey, we can set up a Zoom call with you and your husband at such and such times. Like, what works best for you? Evenings or days? I'm available 7 days out of the week. What works best for you? So when I tell you I'm available 7 days out of the week, there's really no time that you can give me that I'm not available. Right? So they'll give me a time and then we'll set up a Zoom, or we'll set up if they're like, we want to go see this house, we were interested in this one, then I'll meet you there and I'll go through my whole buyer consultation when I meet you. Because if I feel like you don't want to meet with me in person, then I'm going to come to you. Then, okay, well then listen, I sent you 3 particular properties. I think those are amazing. Let's go check them out. Are you available Monday? Are you available Monday? And then you're like, no, I'm not available Monday. Okay, how does Tuesday or Wednesday sound? I'm available those 2 days. And then they kind of tell me what days. Okay, perfect. And if I feel like there's like hesitant to kind of meeting me or bringing the husband or whatnot, then I'm bringing my whole buyer consult there, like everything. I'm meeting you and I'm gonna show you the house and I'm gonna be like, hey guys, I just wanted to make sure that I have everything correct for you. I know you said you're very interested in this particular subdivision. Right now, this is what's active, this is what's pending, this is what's sold. Now, we do have a couple. I always tell them this is a lie, but it's the truth. So I always tell them, we do have 3 new properties hitting the market within the next week or so. Now, I just want to make sure that you're the first one that gets it. So let me get all your information. Like if they're being hesitant to give you emails, phone numbers, and names, like I'm always like, we do have about 3 properties hitting the market next week. And, I feel like they match your criteria. If you give me information, I'll make sure that you're the first one that gets it as soon as it hits the market. So I add kind of like pressure that way.
Yeah.
I'm not like, buy this house. Like, no, you don't want this house, but I can sell you anything else. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's how we should all approach it.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Any final thoughts or advice for everybody?
I would just say, if you're scared to do it, just do it. Just do it. Like, I know it sounds like funny, but I'm just like, just do it. Because I was scared too. I was in the same boat. I was, I got my license July of the whatever year, 2016, 18, I think. And I sat here in classes for 6 months until I got laid off in October of that year. And I was still sitting in classes, just trying to learn as much as I could, because it's a lot of information. It is. Being a realtor is a completely different language. You have to learn everything. You have to make sure that, you're scared. You don't want to, you want to ensure that, you're guiding your client the right way. But I feel like you already have your PC coaches. You already have someone that's behind you that's going to help you with all the questions that you have. Just go and get it. Like, even if you make a mistake, hey, look, I don't have the answer for you right now, but let me get it and I'm gonna get right back with you. Like when you don't know it, that's the easiest way to do it. And then just say, hey, Nimesh, I didn't know this. Can you help me? And then, they'll help you with that. Because I think that's what helped me the most was my PC coach, which is Yana, because she was here. She's amazing, by the way. She's still actually my coach. So I've been in the business for 6.5 years, and I started with PC coaching with everyone here at the office, and she particularly was one of them. And then they had to kick me out because they were like, everything that you're doing, like you don't need to be part of the PC coach. And I was still kind of scared to let go. I'm like, I'm not really ready to go, but okay, if you're gonna throw me out here. But I did what I had to do, and then as my business grew and as I started adding people to my team, I'm like, I need to know where to take them, how to guide them, how to do the right things. I went back into coaching, so now I'm part of Matt's coaching. Mastery coaching, that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Mastery coaching. So I'm still coaching. I'm still, there's always things that you need to learn. There's always new things that you have to grasp or whatnot. But I feel like just don't be scared. Just go for it. Just, build those relationships with the agents that are listing agents, even if they're not part of the Southwest office. Like they could be your friends with Coldwell. They can be your friends with Compass, whatever other brokerage they're with, just reach out and just be like, hey, I love this particular house. Even if it's $1 million house, just do it. Just be like, hey, even if you don't know what you're doing, just say, hey, I would love to host an open house. Like, I'm telling you, because I'm a listing agent, like there's nothing else better to me than an agent calling me and saying, hey, I know you have 3 particular listings active. I live in the area. I want to host them. Yes, go for it. Do you need my signs? My signs are available for you if you don't have them.
Okay.
So, just do it and don't be scared. And that's it. You'll be great.
Awesome. All right. The next